$25 billion. Seriously, just let that number sink in for a second. That is the size of the gamble that could fundamentally rewrite the rules of the entire tech industry as we know it. Welcome back to another Deep Dive Explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive, game-changing move, the $25 billion silicon gamble known as Tesla and Intel's new Terafab initiative.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're looking at a staggering commitment of capital here, one that tightly binds Elon Musk's sprawling tech ecosystem together with Intel's future manufacturing ambitions. But to really grasp why two incredibly massive corporations are pooling their resources to this extreme degree, we have to look at the terrifying economic reality that's actually driving them to the table right now. As reported by AI News during Tesla's earnings call back in June 2026, Elon Musk didn't frame this massive new factory as just some fun side project or minor expansion. No, he framed it as a matter of absolute survival. The company is actively trying to avoid a catastrophic future AI chip supply crunch. So this isn't just business as usual, it's a high-stakes corporate thriller where securing a private supply chain has suddenly become the single most critical mission on their board.
Which brings us to Section 1, the AI chip supply crunch.
Okay, look at the sheer velocity of change in global manufacturing. In the recent past, high bandwidth memory, or HBM as it's known, consumed just 2% of total semiconductor wafer capacity. Tiny, right? But because of the explosive, absolutely massive growth in AI data centers around the world, HBM is projected to consume a whopping 20% of total wafer capacity by the end of 2026. These data centers are literally devouring the global silicon supply.
And here is the collateral damage of that boom. That massive pivot toward AI data centers is directly squeezing the production of memory used in everyday consumer devices. We're talking about the DDR and LPDR chips. And it's causing significant price increases globally. This means your next smartphone or laptop, it could become significantly more expensive. In fact, it's already impacting the sub-$100 smartphone market, which is absolutely crucial for connectivity in regions across Africa and South Asia. For a company like Tesla, the message is crystal clear. If you rely on the open market for your chips, you might get priced out, or worse, completely starved of supply. Let's look at their solution in Section 2, inside the Terafab project.
Enter the Terafab. What exactly does this mean in the context of this partnership? Well, Terafab is an estimated $25 billion semiconductor factory initiative being built right in Texas. Its singular, laser-focused purpose is to mass-produce custom AI silicon at a scale the world has rarely seen, all while keeping Tesla completely insulated from the broader market's supply crunches. So they're setting up shop in Texas, leveraging Intel as their core manufacturing partner and aiming for an output target of 200 billion chips per year. Seriously, pause and think about that scale. 200 billion. That is not a facility built to just experiment, that is a facility built to power an absolute army of intelligent devices.
But there's a catch, which brings us to Section 3, Intel's 14A unfinished promise.
Now, here's where things get kind of crazy. You see, Tesla isn't just going out and buying off-the-shelf technology. They are literally betting their entire AI chip future on Intel's 14A manufacturing process. And here's the kicker. That process is not even finished yet. Tesla is tying a $25 billion anchor to a semiconductor node that is still actively in development. If Intel hits a major roadblock, Tesla's entire hardware roadmap could just crash into a brick wall.
But from Intel's perspective, this is their massive moment of resurgence. As their CEO, Lip-Bu Tan, pointed out at Computex, the whole industry is shifting. Intel's making a massive strategic pivot away from just traditional data center CPUs, and they're focusing heavily on inference, agentic workloads, meaning AI that can actually take actions independently, and physical AI. They're making a huge bet that AI execution, running these models out in the real world, will be what restores their manufacturing dominance. And this brilliantly illustrates their broader approach. Intel is mapping out a comprehensive end-to-end strategy for dominating edge compute. You have their Core Ultra Series 3 running on the 18A node for ultra-thin PCs, then you have their Crescent Island platform for cloud inference, and finally, right there at the bleeding edge, utilizing that unfinished 14A node, is the Terafab custom silicon. This is specifically targeting physical AI and the autonomous edge. It is a complete, top-to-bottom ecosystem play.
Let's talk about where this is all going in Section 4, powering cars, robots, and space.
So what are they going to do with all this silicon? Well, these 200 billion chips are destined to be built across Elon Musk's ecosystem into three primary physical endpoints. First up, Tesla's autonomous vehicle fleet, which requires massive, continuous, real-time processing. Second, their Optimus humanoid robots, which have to navigate complex human environments. And third, powering SpaceX satellites way up in orbit. We're talking about an entire ecosystem of physical machines that literally need to think on their own.
Now, you might be wondering, why do they need so many custom chips? Why not just use cloud computing like everyone else? Well, it all comes down to edge AI. Think about it. When a self-driving car is hurtling down a highway at 70 miles per hour, or a humanoid robot is trying to catch a falling object, it absolutely cannot wait for a signal to bounce to a data center and back. It needs real-time smarts right there on the device. No cloud, no lag. And achieving that requires incredibly powerful, highly specialized on-device inference silicon.
Finally, let's weigh the stakes in Section 5, risks of the silicon bet.
So there is some deep, almost dramatic irony to all of this. On one side, you have the bet, a $25 billion investment relying on totally unfinished 14A technology to build a futuristic chip empire. But then, on the other side, you have the reality. At the exact same time Musk is announcing this colossal factory, Tesla is actually facing declining automotive revenue and shrinking profit margins. It's a massive, capital-intensive leap of faith happening at a moment of real corporate financial friction.
So, what does this all mean for the future? We are undoubtedly witnessing a defining moment in tech hardware. Will Tesla's $25 billion bet successfully insulate them from the global silicon crunch and secure their dominance in physical AI? Or is relying on Intel's unfinished 14A process a gamble that is simply too good to control? The success of future cars, robots, and satellites alike rests entirely on what happens next in that Texas factory. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep your eyes on this space. It is moving incredibly fast. See you next time.